Welcome to the room, story time with Meg. We're talking about my house flipping experience, and I'm gonna tell you guys my process, what I did as a first-time home buyer. And like I said, we got some questions that came into the queue. I'm excited to share what my process was like, and basically how, I know there's some people in the room who have different experiences. You may be a first-time home buyer or someone who has never bought a home. You may have bought a home previously and want to understand how to flip a home. If you're here, you may also be someone who already owns properties and wants to just here for additional resources. Whatever information I can share, that's what we're going to be talking about today. So, all right, it's 8:05. All right. Sorry. Okay. All right, so real quick, just to set a quick agenda, I'm gonna tell you a little bit about who I am. I know there's some people who know me already. There's some people on here that may not know me. I'm gonna talk about just kind of put a few disclaimers out there, and kind of why I'm doing this, and then I'm gonna jump into my story. Tell you what happened, how I was able to buy my first home, renovate it, and sell it, or AKA flip it, within a short period of time, and made a 130% profit within less than 2 years. So I'm gonna tell you that story, and then after I tell you the story, I'm gonna go ahead and address some of the questions that came in that you guys had raised. So I'm gonna try to answer some questions. There's over 15 questions. Hopefully we can get all to it tonight. And if we have time, I'm gonna open up the floor for questions. You guys just feel free to ask me questions or just make comments or whatever. And that's that. So I'm Meghan Counsel. I'm from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I am a financial advisor. I'm also a business owner. I own a marketing agency. I'm a photographer, and I'm also a certified life coach as well. So I kind of have a range of skill sets. I love just all things health and wellness, personal development. Very passionate about personal development. Obviously, as a financial advisor, I am in advising capacity, but disclaimer, I will not be financial advising you today. I am not a tax advisor. I am not an accountant. I am not a real estate realtor. All that I'm bringing to you is pretty much my experience, and here hopefully you'll get some valuable tips and advice, or not advice, but valuable tips and tricks about how I navigated my process. So let's see. So pretty much I'm doing this because this is something that God has put in my heart. Some of you may know that kind of like we all have these gifts and talents and things that are just kind of in us, and our experiences. They're not really for us. They're for other people. So I just feel like I'm being obedient to God and just sharing my experience and how I was able to at 25 years old make a 130% profit off of my first home. And that's me not having any experience. That's me not having any background, real estate background. I just literally wanted to buy a home, and it happened, that process. So okay, so let's talk about it. So back in 2015, so I'm talking about Charlotte. I lived in Charlotte, North Carolina. I know there's some people that may be coming in from Charlotte. And what happened was I was pretty much living in a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom apartment with a roommate. And we were paying like $1,300 a month, pretty much. We were paying about $1,300 a month. And I was like, you know what? This is a lot. This is too much. You know what I mean? Like, the rent was high. I feel like we only had 2 bedrooms, this limited amount of space. I was like, there's got to be more to life. So what happened was, what I did was I was like, you know what? I have a job. I've been working for at least 6 months. I want to take advantage and see what's out there in the market. So, hey, welcome everybody. Welcome Dawn. Hey, welcome Prime Lens Photography. What's up? What's up, Ephesian? If you join in the room, welcome to Storytime with Meg. I'm talking about my house flipping story and how I was able to profit 130% flipping my first home. And that's without any prior experience. So welcome. Tell us where you're from in the chat. Introduce yourself. And so what happened was, after I was just like, you know what, this doesn't make any sense. I'm paying like $1,300 a month. We have this small space. I feel like I could have more. So what happened was I do what I always do, which is kind of get quiet. And I got one of my most favorite things in the world, y'all, besides Jesus, is this right here. Can y'all see that? Y'all see this? This is my most favorite thing in the world. And the reason why this is my favorite thing in the world is because this is where I brainstorm. This is where I put all of my thoughts and dreams and visions down on this piece of paper. This 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. So that's exactly what I took. I took a white sheet of paper. I wrote down and I said, Megan, what do I really want? I knew I wanted to buy a home, but that's very broad. So the first thing that you have to do when considering anything, is you got to have a vision. You got to have a dream. Okay. For me, that's really where it started. That is absolutely where it started. Hey, welcome guys. Write the vision and make it plain. Okay. That's biblical. That's scripture. And that's exactly what I did. I wrote down not only that I wanted to buy a home, but I wrote down the specific details of the house. I wrote down specifically, I had a list, right? So my list was I wanted a 3-bedroom, 1 to 2 bath home. I wanted it to be in a up and coming neighborhood. That was on my list. I also wanted to purchase the house for a deep discount. That was absolutely on my list. Why? Because I wanted to basically come in low. But I also wanted to have that home in an up and coming neighborhood. So I wrote, because that would give me a nice little opportunity to make equity if the value of that neighborhood had increased over time, which it did. So I also wanted a big backyard, and I also wanted to just have some room in my budget to make upgrades, depending on if the house was like, outdated. So after I wrote down my list, after I wrote the vision down, made it plain, I want deep discount, up and coming neighborhood, backyard, 3-bedroom, 1 to 2 baths, and that's where it started. Okay, so the first thing is you gotta dream. You gotta dream. Okay, now after you dream, what else you gotta do? You gotta plan. I had to actually write that like backwards because of the reverse screen. It was very hard. So you got to plan. The next thing I did was I had the vision. I made it plain. Then I set down on a plan. So for some reason, after you write things down that you really want, after you took that time, it's like, what do I really want? Do I want a home in Miami? Do I want a 5-bedroom loft? Do I want this? You can have honestly anything that you want. It's just a matter of you writing it down and making that clear to yourself and to the universe and to others. So the next step was plan, right? So after I did that, I said, okay, well, I want to buy a home. So how do I get started in that process? What I did was I started doing some research. Very easy. Go to Google, www.google.com. Okay, it might be your web browser when you pull it up. I searched some resources. Okay, so this is actually physically one of the, and I don't know if you can see this backwards, but it's called Looking for the Best Mortgage. So I knew that I needed to finance buying a home. I knew that I needed to obviously understand what the home buying process is. So I did some research, some collective research, and I found this little worksheet online. And it's really cool because it goes over a bunch of terms. It talks about rates, points, fees, down payments, and private mortgage insurance. Okay, I found this little packet online, and look how cute, look how awesome and cute this is, right? Like you can honestly, this is a worksheet. and you can shop. I'm sorry that it's like backwards like this, y'all, but y'all can see that I wrote in some of the, I shopped around for my mortgage. So I said, okay, I got to get pre-approved for a mortgage. All right, so I'm starting to now do the planning process. I also reached out to a realtor. Why? Because you gotta, unless you're a realtor yourself, you're probably gonna need some help finding a property, or at least getting access to the MLS system. If I may have said that wrong. So that's what I did. I literally went to Zillow. I went to Zillow.com, and you know how you search Zillow, Redfin. There's a whole bunch of resources out there online that have these, databases of homes. I went to Zillow, Redfin, and I think like another website to search for properties just to see what's out there. Okay, because this is all the planning process. So I actually got connected with a phenomenal agent. She was great because I got connected with her. I, after work, met her at the office, and she asked me specifically, she said, what are you looking for in a home? And guess what I could tell her? I told her everything on my list. I said, Cindy, I want a home I want a home at a deep discount, up and coming neighborhood, big backyard, 3-bedroom, one and a half bathrooms. She said, okay. She's like, all right, well, we can, she was just like looking at me like, deep discount, up and coming neighborhood. I don't know. All right, girl. But I held on to that. And so after, she hooked me up. She got me connected with her database where I can view all the homes that may not actually be on Zillow. Some of those homes that come onto the market sometimes get delayed and aren't posted up onto those websites instantly. So she gave me that website, and I went through a couple homes. Now, my process in finding a home, that was actually a question that you guys had. What did I look for in the property? Well, like I said, I already had my list. I already had my criteria on what I was looking for. So in order for me to find out what were some of the up-and-coming neighborhoods in the area, what I did was I actually went to the city's urban development planning resource. So if you live in a city, almost every city has access to just kind of like some future planning or developments. I cannot remember the exact name, but it's basically you can find out what the future improvements or developments are the city for planning, because most cities have like a 5-year or 10-year plan. And that's exactly what I did, and I found out that the city of Charlotte was actually going to be building a light rail through from east to west. And I saw that was a great opportunity, because if there's transportation, if there's access to schools, access to food, resources, different types of communities, those are great places. You want to find activity, where things are, or if there's transportation going through those neighborhoods, especially if there's not before, because there's a reason why they're expanding transportation to those neighborhoods. So anyway, so I went to the city of Charlotte's database to find out what the future developments were. And that's how I was able to say, like, okay, well, these are some potential areas. Now, they were not, the areas that I specifically looked for were actually not in the already developed and already popular neighborhoods. Why? Because they were already too high. Remember, I wanted to go in for a deep discount. So I started looking at the low income neighborhoods. Okay. That's exactly what I did. I started looking at, okay, this neighborhood is a little bit sketchy, but there's a light rail that's getting ready to be developed in that neighborhood. So that's actually a good potential neighborhood to look at. And that's exactly how I gauged my thought process. So after I looked at those neighborhoods outside of the popular neighborhoods, because why? Because those are usually like the next neighborhoods that are getting ready to catch fire. Okay. Now my agent, funny story was my agent, what she did was, so she said, we looked at a couple bit different properties. I wasn't really like, nothing really popped out at me. Nothing was like, okay, this is a great property. Or I saw this one, it was too high. I was, again, deep discount, 3-bedroom, 1 bath, backyard, up and coming neighborhood. So she called me one day, right? Because I already put out my list into the universe. I already told her what I wanted. I was very clear on what I wanted. She called me and she said, Megan, you're not going to believe this. she said, I just was talking to, because she works with investors. She actually works with real estate investors. And she was like, one of my investors has came across this really solid property in Charlotte. And the problem is that he wants to buy it, but he can't because he's an investor. And this property, it is a HUD home, and it's only offered to owner occupants. Okay, so this one property, she was like, this is a great neighborhood. It's up and coming. It's right now, it's a HUD home, HUD, HUD home. So, and the sales price of that property was $52,000. And her investor friend who identified the property and told her about it found out that he couldn't purchase the property as an investor. It was only being sold to owner occupants. So guess what? She called me and she said, Megan, you're gonna love this house. I said, okay, great. All right, let's bet, let me go check it out. We go check it out. The house is solid. I'm like, Cindy, yes, we got it. Let's put a bid on this property. So she was like, so she goes ahead and puts the bid on the property. I'm like, all right, well, how much I went. So what I did was, because again, I was still in my, was past my dreaming process, right? I was now into the planning process, and I'm like, okay, well, what do I need to do in order to get ready for me to purchase this house? Well, I needed to go ahead and get pre-approved for a mortgage. So I started shopping around. I got my little worksheet, right? My little mortgage worksheet. And I started shopping around. I went to my bank first. Then I went to the credit unions. And then I actually asked my lender, actually Cindy, my realtor, if she knows any mortgage companies that are offering to do mortgages. And she did. And that's actually who I got my mortgage from, was from her recommendation. So you can tell, and I actually went with them because they gave me the best interest rate. They actually gave me a 3% down payment assistance. And they were very easy to work with, and it was phenomenal. So again, this is all through this agent on Zillow. So anyway, so I'm like, all right, so this HUD home, HUD, has a very strict process. Okay, it's not just like a conventional home that it was offered at a deep discount. The sales price was $52,000. So like everybody was like, all right, oh, we got to get on this. It was a 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom home, 1-story, big backyard, big front yard, and it was in this neighborhood that was next to this very popular up and coming neighborhood called Plaza Midwood. Okay, so after I went ahead and got pre-approved, right? Now, I also, what's up, Jackie? If you welcome to the room, y'all. Welcome to Storytime with Meg. If you're new, welcome, introduce yourself. Tell us where you're from. So what happened was, she, sorry, I'm like losing my train of thought. Okay, got pre-approved for a mortgage. I got approved based on my credit history, based on my my income. I had to have a job, okay? Had to have credit, okay? And I also had to have some type of savings. What down payment I'm gonna put on this home? So during my planning process, I also had to get organized. That's my biggest tip for you. If you're starting off in this process, get organized. Not only do the research, but also find out, how to make sure your stuff is tight. Because I had to go on a website to find out, to pull my credit report to see if I had any type of delinquencies reported on my credit report. I had to see if there were any type of just things that should not be on there. I had to make sure all my stuff was tight, because when I go to the lender and I want to get a great rate and I want to get a good, decent down payment or monthly mortgage payment, I had to make sure that I looked financially presentable to these financial institutions. Okay, so I got all that together. I got pre-approved for about $90,000. Now I came into so what happened was, so Cindy was like, okay, well, this is a HUD home. You have to bid. This is something we have to bid on. All right, don't know that process. Listen, I just do whatever you tell me to do. Okay, how much should we bid on this property? I went with her recommendation. Why? Because she is the expert, and because she actually, again, is more familiar with this process than I was. So I really relied heavily on her expertise. Mind you, this was not my own expertise. This was her expertise I relied on, and I felt very comfortable working with her. She, you know, you do have to have a good connection or a good feeling with someone that you're working with. It's just good business practice. So, so she says, you know what, Meg? She said, I know the sales price is $52,000, but I really think that you should go in for $70,000. Okay. Hey, Miss Donna, welcome to Story Time. She said you should come in at $70,000 is the bid on this property. I said, bet, let's do it. She submits the bet, $70,000 bet on this, or bid on this HUD home that was asking price $52,000. I lost the bid. I got outbid by somebody. And I was kind of low-key devastated because I was like, man, like I was so looking forward to this property. It had everything on my list. It was deep in a neighborhood, up-and-coming neighborhood. It was a deep discount, $52,000. Big backyard, 3-bedroom, 1 bath. It had everything on my list. And my tip for you is when you hit a roadblock, when you get outbid or a closed door, don't let that discourage you, because there's something behind that. Okay. She said, Meg, I'm sorry you lost the bid. You got outbid by someone else who outbid you for this, my dream property. I was low key. I was like, you know what? Okay, that's fine. I didn't allow myself to get discouraged. I said, you know what? There's a house out there for me that's going to meet my list, be everything on my list. And so I take a nap one day. Naps are amazing, by the way. I take a nap one day. I wake up to a missed call from Cindy. Cindy, I call her immediately back. Hey, Cindy, what's going on? Meghan, you're not going to believe this. I'm like, okay, what's up? She's like, you won the house. You won the bid. I'm like, what? Cindy, you talking about? Yeah. I'm like, what? Oh my gosh, what is going on? I'm like, hype at this point. I'm like, yo, what happened? She's like, I don't know exactly what happened. I just know that they accepted the bid. They accepted your $70,000 bid purchase price. I said, oh my gosh, okay, I'm happy, but I'm also like, but what happened? What happened with the other guy? Like, what happened with this house? So that is actually what we end up going to the process of, like, finding out, like, okay, why did I got outbid? So somebody won the house, but they walked away from it, and we didn't know why. So I'm like, okay, all right, kind of, I'm thinking like, all right, red flags kind of, going off in my head. I'm like, no, I don't want to step into, this is a big financial decision. I don't want to step into anything that's going to be, potentially hurtful, harmful, or just not for me, or disadvantage and all that stuff. So she does some research, and she finds out that this particular property has, when we actually, let me see, I'm trying to remember if we had to go in and inspect the property first. The thing about HUD homes is that they are oftentimes, and hey, Miss Donna, I see your request here. So oftentimes these HUD homes, and I'm not an expert on this, and Miss Donna, I actually think that you are a realtor, so you may have a lot more knowledge on this. I'm gonna bring you up in just a sec. So basically, I think we have to either purchase the property as is, but it had to be in at least a livable condition. So after we had to find out like what was wrong with this property. Found out that the property had about an 8 feet drop underneath in the crawl space of the home. There was about an 8-foot drop, and what we found out was that this home was built in 1955. So it had a kind of like a little like a corner pocket underneath the house, which is actually used to keep the house cool in the summertime. So Charlotte, North Carolina gets very hot during the summer, and so there was about an 8-foot drop under, like at one corner of the home. And I think that's exactly why the first person had, walked away from the house. They were probably scared. But after we went through our review process, we got an inspection on the property. I said, you know what, this is something that I'm going to go ahead and just, do. This is the house. And so when we actually finally got the inspection, the inspector said, hey, there is some settling with the foundation, but it's not something that's immediate. But you will want to address this big drop in your crawl space, 8 feet, y'all. I'm 5 feet. So that's another three feet ahead. And I was like, I don't want this house. Structural engineering sounds scary to me, and expensive. So I was like, I don't want no problems, right? So yeah, exactly. People walk away from structural damage. So, but based on the assessment of the inspection report, which is a very large document, this thing costs probably about, I don't put all my information out here, but this cost about $500 to have the guy inspect it. And as you can see, there's a lot of stuff that they did. I don't know if you guys can see that, but he was inspecting the home, checking the stuff. And let me see if I can find this real quick. Oh man, they gave it to us. This stuff is very detailed. But this was a part of the planning process, because I needed to know what I needed to know to make a good financial decision. Okay, so we assessed that, okay, you know what, this is something that is not absolutely urgent. This can be fixed. We actually had a guy come and say, you know what, we can actually put some cinder blocks and pour some concrete behind the cinder blocks to keep the structure of the property in this little space secure. And I say, you know what, no problem, we can fix that. Let's get this house. $70,000. Purchase the property on July 1st, 2015. Okay, so again, the planning process. So I secured. Now, remember, I had I was pre-approved for $90,000. Bought the home for $70,000. Now, the next question that some people ask was like, okay, well, you know the condition of the home. You got the report. Now, how did you actually go ahead and fix it? Now, forgive me if I'm skipping over anything here, y'all. I'm trying to cover the whole story within a good amount of time. Ms. Donna, I'm gonna bring you in real quick. I'm gonna bring you up if you're okay with that, just to share a few points. I think you wanted to make a few comments. Ms. Donna, I know Ms. Donna from TIC, Tabernacle International Interdenominational Choir. Lord have mercy. All right, let me bring you in. For joining. Oh, okay. All right, so I'm gonna keep going. It said decline. Okay, cool. We'll definitely just comment or do that. So I'm trying to see if I'm skipping over anything. Okay, so we talked about the dream. We talked about the plan, getting organized, shopping for lenders, getting the pre-approval process going, and also organizing your finances. Do you have a 401k? Do you have some other assets? Because the banks are going to ask about all of those things. Okay, and all right. So what ended up happening was I purchased this property. Now my payments on this house. Guess how much? Now remember I told you I was paying about $1,300 in rent, right? Too much money for a 2-bedroom. I had a roommate. We split the cost, but still, that's a lot of money. Guess how much my mortgage payment was? Okay, on a $70,000 purchase price, interest rate was actually 3 point. I locked in. Let me see if I wrote it down. I locked in a purchase interest rate of 3.875%. 3.875%. Which is very good. Now rates are even lower right now, which I'll mention a topic about that shortly. But that was a pretty good rate. So my payments were $525 per month. Killing it. Okay, I'm already saving $500. Why would anybody at that point buy rent? Why would you rent? renting, it has its place, okay? No shade to anybody who's renting, no shade. But do you see the opportunity here, right? The savings, okay? It's paying $1,300 per month. My mortgage $525, okay? That, so I was like, you know what, that just makes so much sense, right? So this is, again, thinking about, you know, financial literacy, wealth building. Let's see about how we can save money, because what could an extra $500 do for you per month? Okay, you gonna ask that from your boss? He might tell you no, but if you can pay that back to yourself and by saving, even better. Okay, so the next thing I'm gonna talk about during the planning process, we're still in the planning process. Well, no, yeah, hold on, let me see. All right, so I planned it out. Now, the last thing I did, right, and I want to keep this real succinct for you guys, okay? So I dreamed, I wrote my vision, made it plain, got my white sheet of paper, got honest with myself about what I really, really wanted, my dream list, made my plan, got the property of my dream list. Y'all, I'm telling you, this stuff cannot lie. And then my last thing I did was I actually, oops, I'm getting hit by the paper. Last thing I did, take action. You dream, plan, then you take action. So this is, now of course I'm already doing all, you know, taking all this action. But the next step of my home buying process was, okay, after I secured the home, determined that it was in okay position. The next thing I did was like, you know what, I want to renovate this house. I'm gonna see if I can show you guys. I'm gonna see if I can show you guys the property of what the before. Okay, so y'all gonna see a little bit of my my setup over here, okay? But bear with me. All right, so this was the home. All right, so this was the property, and let me go back here. Oh, by the way, this is my little budget. So this is a part of getting organized. What I did here is I created a budget. So I had my rent, my utility bills, everything in there. Okay. What's up, Major? Hey, welcome to the room. Welcome to Story Time with Meg. I actually stole that from Uncle Hollis. This is house flipping story with Meg. So this was my budget right here. So I outlined everything. I'm very organized, very detailed. A lot of people that know me know this. This was a part of my getting right. But this was the property here. That's me and Cindy on the day of the home purchase. Okay, and this was the home. So as you can see, we got a couple things here. All right, it's looking, it's kind of old and outdated, right? A lot of, look at that stove. Look at that. That's real old. I was like, now, no shade to anybody's house that may look like that, but I was like, I don't really want to kind of live here like this. Look at that grout. That means grout on your countertop. No thanks. What's up, Detroit guy? Welcome. Okay, so, and this is the bathroom here. So I was like, you know what? I really, really want this to be updated. But those floors, y'all, do y'all see the shine on that? Do you see the shine? Look at that. Oh my gosh, wood paneling. Look at that wood panel. Great question, Miss Donna. Do I have to fix things before settlement? The home had to be in a good, what's the word? The home had to be in a livable condition in order for me to complete the sale. What that means was I had to make sure that the pipes were working, had to make sure that there was heat and gas, all those things in order to move in. Those things have to be completed before settlement, or at least 30 days after settlement. They actually paid my contractor. So let me talk a little bit about the home repair process real fast. Okay. All right, so do you see this, y'all? Look at that big bay window. Look at that big front yard. I'm telling you, this is what I put on my list. You see that big backyard? Oh, that was the laundry room in there. This is the sunroom. And this was the big backyard. Sorry, can y'all hear me okay? I'm sorry with this connection. This was the big backyard that I asked for on my list. So I mean, this was a very big yard. I had a lot of landscaping to do. It was a lot. All right. So let me see if I can turn it around now. Thank you. Okay. All right. Let me see here. Forgive me. I'm trying to move quickly through this. Okay. This was the picture I want to show you. Hold on. All right. So how did I end up turning the house from this process? You know, this was the contractor. So real quick. Now, somebody mentioned earlier on the chat. It's about connections. My boyfriend at the time, who I was dating, was soccer friends with a guy who recently got his house updated. He knew a contractor that did all of his work. Okay. He said, hey, you know, how much does your guy charge? Oh, he charges this. Okay, well, let me see. Is he available? So we based off, it was a reference. Okay. So that's how I found this contractor. His name, guess what his name was? Jesus, right? Jesus in Espanol. So he was in here, and what we did was, I was like, you know what? There was some opportunity to make some repairs. So let me tell you about this process for the repairs. We actually knocked down that wall. Okay. Wanted to open up the room for open concept because that's a thing now, or probably always has been a thing. So let me tell you about how I financed this. All right. So the financing piece. All right, this gets a little technical, so I'll try to be succinct and clear. All right, so I said that the house purchase price, I got it for $70,000. So I had a little, and my mortgage payments were going to be $525 per month. I had a little bit of room. Now, how am I going to update this house, kitchen and bathroom, and I don't have pretty much no money? Oh, can I jump back real quick and tell you guys, I'm so sorry. This is a big point that I missed. In order for me to buy the home, I not only got, as a first-time home buyer, I got a down payment assistance of 3%. That is pretty standard. Ms. Donna, you could probably add into this as well. Down payment assistance was 3%. So I actually got about $2,100 to go towards my closing cost. The amount of money that I needed to bring to the table, after all the numbers worked out, I had to bring $2,935 to the table, $2,900. Guess where I got that money from? Now, I know some of you guys may have that money in your bank account right now. Yes, and you can also get grants. And so I got it from the lender that Cindy, my realtor, referred me to. Got it from her, from the mortgage lender that she referred. So I brought $2,900, and I got that money from my 401k. I don't know if you guys are familiar with 401ks. You may have heard of them before. They're pretty much retirement accounts that are offered by employers. Employers do matching, all of that. You know, you can also contribute to it, and as well. And so I had saved up money in my 401k, and I had a nice little chunk of money in there. And I said, you know what? I got $2,900 in my 401k. Hey, can I take any of it? So I called my 401k provider. I was like, hey, y'all, I'm trying to buy a home. I want to see if I can take any of this money out of my 401k. Can y'all help me out with this? They said, oh, you know what? You can actually you can borrow against your 401k. I said, no, for real? I can take out some money. They said, how much you need? I said, I need about $2,900. They were like, okay, well, yeah. Here's the conditions of the 401k loan. You basically pay it back through your payroll deduction. And, you know, so my payments were like $52 extra, that came out of my pay to go towards paying back my loan. So I took this $2,900 check, gave it to the people, and got approved for the loan with only $2,900 out of pocket for me. I took some extra savings because there's something called an earnest money deposit. So I did tap into my personal savings, about an extra $1,000 to go towards the earnest money. So altogether, I was out of pocket about $3,900 total from me, okay, and my 401k, but really like $1,000 from my savings account, okay? $1,000 came from me. and my personal savings, about 29 for my 401k. It's a total about $4,000, okay, out of my pocket. Remember that $4,000 left my Meghan's savings account and 401k. What I did was I knew that I had some wiggle room, okay? So I went ahead and found out, like, all right, well, where can I get some money to make the renovations on this property? And here's what I did. I got a Home Depot project loan, okay? I got approved. I went to Home Depot and I said, hey, y'all, do y'all have any, can I borrow any money from you guys? I got these renovations. I'm trying to renovate my bathroom, my kitchen. Can y'all help me out? And they said, well, we do actually have this program that you can apply for. It's called a Home Depot project loan, and you can get approved. And basically, you just basically do all of your shopping for all of your resources, your tools, your equipment, your materials from Home Depot. It's like basically like a Home Depot credit card. Y'all, they approved me based on my good credit. I made sure my credit was tight. I had it was in the 700s. It was probably low 700s. I can't remember exactly. They approved me for $10,000 on this Home Depot project loan. Can I get a witness? Can somebody say hallelujah? $10,000. I'm like, okay, that should be more than enough. Because it's a small kitchen and I had a small bathroom. Y'all saw the pictures, okay? Took out a Home Depot project loan, okay? They approved me for $10,000. And we got the Jesus guy and said, I said, how much you charge to do the bathroom and kitchen? And y'all, I'm sorry, I don't know if he undervalued himself, but he was a very good worker. Actually, we had to kind of get on top of him a couple times. He got a little, kind of slacked off a little bit. You get what you pay for. But he charged us a total of $3,000 to complete the entire kitchen and the entire bathroom. I purchased all of the equipment, the materials from the Home Depot project loan. Okay, that is how I did that. So it took the time frame. It was maybe about a month and a half, I want to say, for him from start to finish, to do the entire complete the whole project of the kitchen, remodeling that, and the bathroom. And guess how I paid him? Yes, it was a steal. And because he worked, man, I'm telling you, the connections. It's about who you know. Sometimes, a lot of times, about who you know. Now, how did I pay for him? Because I didn't have, I couldn't really tap my 401k. I already tapped $1,000 for my savings. I'm out $4,000. For him, I went ahead and, went to my credit union. I said, hey, y'all, I might have to do a little, cash advance. Now, mind you, because I have all this extra wiggle room in my budget, I'm going from $1,300 per month in rent. That was split. So, I mean, to be honest, it was split, but I'm coming out maybe like $700 all total with utilities and bills with my roommate. I still have about $300 to spare if I want to even just kind of break even. So I went ahead and took out a cashier's, what is this? Is this a cashier's check? It's basically like a cash advance on your credit card. Now, be mindful, y'all, when you're considering taking out money or credit to buy things, you just kind of have a strategy. Now, I knew that this home, because I got it in a deep discount, I felt that the property was going to increase in value over time. I was a little bit more comfortable taking some risk and adding more credit or adding more debt or liability to my budget, because I saw the potential. So this is a great way for you understanding how you can leverage credit in your savings in order to build wealth. Why? Because again, I took out that Home Depot loan. I took out a cash advance for $2,900 on my credit card. So I was still saving maybe about $100 with the Home Depot loan. The Home Depot loan cost me a total of $45 per month. And I didn't take, let me see, hold on. No, I'm sorry. So it's based upon how much you actually spend. So if you spent the full $10,000 on the Home Depot loan, then your payments are $155 per month. Well, at least it was for me. I only spent about $7,300 on that loan, So my payments were right around like $70. So I had $70 plus the 525 plus this extra cash advance that I took out from my credit union, from my credit card. Took that out and utilized, so in those extra payments probably were about that maybe about another $50 to my budget. So you see here, like you saw my my budget earlier. See, I'm adding itemizing all these things up to make sure that it still makes sense. But guess what I'm getting out of that? I'm getting a new kitchen and a new bath. Okay, so now I'm about $700, 3-bedroom, my own property, up and coming neighborhood. House was still bought at a deep discount, so I'm still winning. Okay. Now got a great question that came in. How long did you have to repay the Home Depot and credit union advance? How long did I have to repay that? Well, the Home Depot actually, they gave me a timeline that I had to use up the credit. I had about a 6-month window to utilize the credit, but to repay it, that was just ongoing. I think it might have been like a 5-year term. I think it was a 5-year term. For the cash advance, that pretty much it's until you pay that off, for the cash advance. So again, this is a strategy for you to be able to kind of leverage credit, understanding like how much it costs to borrow. If you can break that down and understand that, then that is going to be kind of where you're going to be able to see how these things kind of come together and make sense. Okay, so that was how I did that. Now, again, to the contractor's point, and I'm sorry, I'm trying to get really, quickly through this story. Contractors, great tips, y'all. If you're going to have a contractor or hire anybody to do work that's over $500, you need a contract. Okay, get yourself a contract and outline the terms. We had him do. Now, my ex-boyfriend was very good at negotiating. Okay, he got the guy to do a chimney sweep, plumbing. He installed all new plumbing, gutter cleaning, painting, recessed lighting, roof drainage system. Man, this guy did it all. And in addition to the kitchen demolition and remodeling, bathroom demolition and remodeling, check electric items, make sure all works, fix ceiling fan. We had him doing the works. He was really getting paid. I mean, we were getting paid. Okay. All right. Let me move on here. Any questions so far? Sorry, I'm trying to move very quickly. Now, the Home Depot process was great. It was actually a little bit intricate. Okay, this is actually something that so remember, we're not working with Home Advisor or these big renovation companies. Okay, we're working with this independent contractor who's charging us very low to do the work. He was kind of getting so listen, he agreed to the price and for the work. Now that's on him. Ended up again being a good thing for us, get that contract. Okay, so we actually had to do a lot of active management with him because he wasn't a reputable company. He wasn't somebody that I can call his boss up and say, this guy didn't finish the job. So we had to do a lot of project management with him. And we also had to design the kitchen. This is the kitchen plan. All right, so it was a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff like that. And you're right, Ms. Donna, it does not happen to everybody. But it's a good idea to still ask around. If you can find cheap labor, understand that you're going to get what you pay for, but also have it in writing, get a good contract, and be very clear on the terms and the payment structure. Okay, so that is a little bit about how I flipped I'm over here struggling. Sorry, I'm a little hungry. Okay, so I'm going to show you now what the kitchen ended up looking like after. Okay, so this is the guy. This is our Jesus, our Jesus guy. All right. So
Oh, this was actually where the 6-foot drop was right in there. If you opened up that door, it was like you had to put a flashlight to see all the way down. I don't actually have a picture of it inside. So these are just some of the great question, Miss Donna. Yes, I did live in the property. This HUD home did require owner occupancy. These are just some of the prices for the work. So as you can see, this was not just a set it and forget it. This was very much so very active involvement in the renovation process. So I was actually doing some work too. I was outlining, making these plans. This was actually the kitchen, pantry, stove. This is just, again, the outline, had to get the measurements and all of that. So quite involved, but worth it. Another great question, Jared. No, thankfully we completed the renovations before I moved in. The renovations took about a month and a half. So after I closed on the property, we got the contractor to go right in on the 3rd week after the closing to start to do the work. So this is just, again, some of the rental contracts from the Home Depot store. I don't know what that was for the insurance stuff. As you can see, there's a couple. I love the decorating process. It is the best. That is where I really loved kind of designing. Oh, that was me. I really love designing the kitchen and the bathroom. Okay, so here's actually a couple pictures of the finished product. This is kind of during, as you can see, there's a lot of measurements and things going into play here. Okay, so this is it kind of coming together now. So we installed new floors in the kitchen, completely gutted it out, basically. Installed all new appliances. And another great thing is, again, guess where these appliances came from, y'all? Home Depot. From that Home Depot loan. Okay, so you can actually, if you have, and somebody mentioned it earlier, look, get your credit good. Get that free creditreport.com and check on your credit. Make sure there's nothing on there that is not supposed to be on there. Okay, let's see. All right, so here is, okay, as you can see, the wall. And again, I'm really trying to get to your questions. Here's the kitchen. So wanted to open up this space by creating an open concept. Yeah, it was a solid. And actually, another great tip, y'all, if you can catch the Home Depot sales, my appliances total for the refrigerator, for the stove, and the dishwasher was around $2,500. We caught it on sale. So you can get it for a really, really good price. You just have to be strategic. So this is more of the product. This is the living room. This is from the kitchen. This was a load-bearing wall. So we had to actually keep this here. Couldn't knock out the entire wall because we would have to install like a wood beam, which would have been more expensive. So we kept this wall here, opened it up, and that is that. So, okay, this is a little bit of the decor. So we repainted this room. This was actually all blue. And in the bathroom, you saw that bathroom looking all ugly and dated, right? Who wanted to take a shower in there? Nobody. So updated the kitchen in the bathroom here. And this guy, I'm telling you, look at this work. He did a really, really decent and good job, y'all. Like we mentioned, you may not find a Jesus. I honestly, it was a prayer because of what? I wrote it down, made it plain. Okay. All right. And this is actually the finished kitchen. So I'm very, very pleased to share this. After it's all said and done, you can see that it's looking very beautiful here. This is kind of like the finished product. This is a small kitchen. Now, depending on your size, depending on the size of your kitchen is going to definitely determine how much money you're going to spend on the renovations. Yes, Jared, Jesus sent Jesus. No doubt. No doubt. Okay. Yes, look how beautiful this is, y'all. Okay, so this is the outcome of, again, what? Right, making the vision, writing the vision, making it plain. All right. So, and this was the low bearing wall here. Really nice, really, really, really nice. Okay. Not perfect, but hey, look. All right, so let me so now I covered the renovation process. Love the questions. Keep the questions coming. Now I want to talk about what am I going to talk about now? Okay, I covered that. Covered that. Okay, perfect. I got myself a little list. All right, so the doing now, the sale, the home sale. Now, guess what? Guess wizard. What happened next? Now, I lived in the property, bought the home, got the renovations done before I moved in, and basically lived there. Now again, mortgage 525 per month with the extra credit cash advance with the Home Depot added about another 100 and almost $200, but really about 150 to my budget or to the overall expenses. But guess what? I have a home for $70,000 and I have a brand new kitchen and bathroom. Okay, can I get a witness? That's great. That's the cost. Okay, it ended up working out. So moved into the property after the renovations and lived in the property for 1.5 years. At that time, you know, the property Charlotte's market value just started increasing up. Now, what happened for the flip was, so I already kind of low-key flipped the house because I'm a first-time home buyer. I'm an owner occupant, and now I've already did the work to update the kitchen and bathroom. So I have a new brand new kitchen and bathroom, which automatically adds equity and value to your property instantly. I'm now living in the house for 1.5 years, and I had just a random thought one day, and I asked my boyfriend at the time. I said, you know what if I sold the house? And then that thought kind of transpired into, okay, well, if you were to sell the home, about how much is the home worth now? 1.5 years already went by. So we contacted the same realtor, contacted the same exact realtor 1.5 years later, said, hey, Cindy, question for you. If we had sold the property today, how much would it be worth? Y'all. She said, if you sold the property today, your house would be worth 160. I said, you got to be kidding. 160? 1.5 years after? What happened? She was like, well, you know, the neighborhood that you live in is very close to Plaza Midwood, which is a very popular neighborhood, which increased the values in Plaza Midwood. You can't get in for under 300,000 now, or I think actually 400,000 now. So she's like, your home was right next to that neighborhood, and they're getting ready to build a light rail through that neighborhood, and you know that's why the property had gone up that much within that short period of time. I said, okay, boom. Like, so that is, to me, at that point, I had a decision to make. I was either going to, you know, keep the property, or I was going to sell it. If I kept the property, and another quick thing about HUD homes, and I don't know, again, Ms. Donna, if you have experience with HUD homes, but one of the requirements to have an owner occupancy to purchase the property and be able to live there, purchase the property, is that I had to live there for a minimum of 1 year from the date of settlement. I had to live the property for 1 year in order for me to kind of meet the qualifications of me buying that HUD home at that deep discount. Okay, so I already met those qualifications. I bought the home for $70,000. 1.5 years later, it's now worth 160. I had already positioned myself by having an updated kitchen, an updated bathroom when I first went into the property. So now it's like, okay, the value of my house is there. So now I was like, all right. So that was basically like, I was like, all right, you know, cash is king. I don't feel like the market, I feel like the market is going to like pop or tank at or some point. I said, let's kind of get the money and run was like low key the approach at that point. And I was like, well, I had, because when you own a prop, because I only had to live there for 1 year to satisfy the conditions of my mortgage and my loan for that HUD home, I could move out after a year. I can move into an apartment and start to rent it out. I can do, you know, get some rental income on there. But then I was like, you know, do I really want to, you know, there's a whole lot of considerations with that. If I have to, you know, if I want to be involved with the management of working, you know, dealing with tenants and all of that, there is a process. Some people, you know, a lot of people do go into that area. But I was like, you know what, 130% profit. I could do a lot with all that excess money. So let's go ahead and sell. Called Cindy up, said, all right, it's worth 160. Okay. The sale process was a little bit more, it was a little intricate. What happened was, after I decided that I wanted to sell the home for what it was worth, we did not at that time, my ex and I, we didn't at that time want to go through a realtor and basically give them like 4% or 3% in order to sell the property. We wanted to kind of sell it as an owner. So I sold it as an owner. Okay, you can do that. You actually, when you're selling a property, you actually do not have to necessarily go through or work with a realtor to sell the property. You work with the buyer's realtor to sell the property, because they actually are the ones preparing a lot of the paperwork. There are a couple of things that we had to do, that I had to do. I had to actually list the property onto the national network. I had to obviously promote take pictures and all of that, but I was able to sell the property as an owner without going through a realtor or real estate agent. We actually used the buyer's realtor and real estate agent in order to sell the property or complete the paperwork process. So that saved us about, hey guys, what's up? Welcome to the room. Yes, for sale by owner. That's correct. Thank you, Ms. Donna, for that term. Appreciate you being on here. So yes, so that was the what I did, and because of that, I did save 3 to 4% off of the sales price, which I was able to save and keep that again, that profit. So, a year and a half later, bought the house for that's a good one, Jared. May have to definitely do something like that. Bought the house for 70, is now worth 160. That 130% profit left me with a total of, after it was all said and done, because all right, you got the bank getting ready to give me 160, I still got $70,000, about a $68,000 loan. They take that loan, okay? They take that loan back. You pay back that loan, and guess what? You get the rest. You get the rest of that money. So this number right here, this $81,000, $81,325 was my net profit off of selling the home. Okay, $81,000. I took that $160,000 check, gave the bank back $68,000. Had to pay some other costs. Did I get another offer? An offer for 160? Yes, yes, everybody. Yeah, I got several offers for 160. Yeah, we actually end up going through selecting the buyer who had basically like the easiest. They just were the easiest to do work with. Everyone else was kind of like had all these different requirements for us. We were like, we're not. This house is going to be kind of low key, like as is. Now, I will say, and I know I'm missing a whole bunch of stuff, y'all, and I'm really sorry because it's 9:08, Lord have mercy. But that was how I flipped the property within that short period of time, by, again, writing the vision, making it plain, getting organized. I don't know, y'all. Let me tell you how organized I am. Okay, I'm very organized. Everything has a folder. This right here is the closing. So this has all my paperwork in here. This here is the renovation folder. So these all, I keep things very organized and separated. And this again will help your process when you are starting this. You want to be able to quickly identify things and get to things when you need it.